Now let's come to the real use case of actually this summarize function. Okay, so this is one way to use it, to summarize, get different values, different statistical summaries on the different measures, and also using different measures on the different columns you have in your data. But actually the real power of summarize come together when you use it together with grouping. So what is grouping? Grouping is basically where you use one or more variables to separate out your data on those unique values within that column. Okay, on those. So for example, group by is the function name, group underscore by. And let's say, for example, I want to group it by the month. If I just run this now, nothing happens like on the outer side, maybe on the data, but actually what it does, it basically groups the data, and you see that information here. So currently there is 12 groups created based on the month, right? Because we use the month to group the data, but it didn't do anything. So we are still seeing 336,000 rows, and so seemingly nothing happened, but basically groups are created. Now I can operate within each group separately. So I can do different things within each group. Okay. What do I mean? Let's do that. So let's take this and let's continue using now this grouped data. So flights, and then I group it based on month, and let's now do something with each group. So now I can use the summarize function. Summarize. Open close parentheses, and for example, I can calculate how many flights happened in each month. So that n, that small n that we learned, right, which shows how many rows there are. Now it won't show like a single value for the whole data set, but it will show 12 values, meaning it will show how many rows there are in each month, right? And that would mean for this data set how many flights happened for each month. Let's run and see. You see for month 1 it says 27,000 rows, so 27,000 flights happened in January, and then in month 2 24,000 plus flights happened in February. In March 28,000+ flights happened, and so on. So you see, well, there's 10 values here, and then on the second page there's 2 more. So in total you will have 12 values, right? So that's one use case. Let's add more. Is, you know, just like before, we can add more statistics. So for example, let's say we want to calculate how much of an average delay happened in each month, right? I think that would be a good measure. So let's call that average delay. Mean function, and I will calculate this for the total delay. NARM true. Let's call this average total delay actually. Let's run it so we have both the number of flights and then the average total delay happening there. I will take this. I want to also see the average delays happening in departure and also arrival. So average departure delay. So instead of total delay, I will change this to departure delay. And I want to see also average arrival delays happening. Average ARR delay. So arrival delay. Yeah, so we will both calculate the average total delay, average departure delay, and average arrival delay. So the error you see here, it says it's complaints because I need to put this comma right here. Right, this is the first thing we want to calculate, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one here at the end. Let's run this. So you see now more stuff. So average total delay for each month is calculated, average departure delay for each month is calculated, and average arrival delay for each month is calculated. You see the 11 and 12 there as well for November and December. Right, so we can add more and more conditions here. I mean, things to calculate here. So now you can see the real power, you know, when you combine a group by and summarize together to get something out of the data. Okay. I will take this and I will show you another thing here. So here we have grouped by month. We can add more conditions here. So we can add more variables to group on. right? Now, if you do that, it will look at the combinations of those values we put into group by. So in this case, I want to still keep month, and let me use another variable. I think I will go with carrier, but let's see. I could do origin. Actually, let's do origin. We have 3 origin values here in the data set, because this data set only shows those flights originating from the New York airport, so LGA, JFK, and EWR. So let's use that. So for each month and origin combination, what are these values? What are the number of flights? What is the total delay, departure delay, and arrival delay that originate from each of the airports? Let's run this and see what happens. I run this now. I have 36 combinations, right? Because there's 12 months and then there's 3 airports. So 3 times 12, 36 combinations of this. So basically what this means is that, as you can see here, for January, the EWR origin airport. For January, the JFK origin airport. For January, the LGA LaGuardia origin airport. So there is 3 airports for the month of January. And again, same 3 airports for the month of February, and so on. So that's why we have 36 combinations. And in the summary, you see 36 by 6 because there's 36 rows. And all these calculations I wanted to be done. So these are the 4 different summaries. And it will automatically show you the grouping by variables that were used to group by the dataset. So month and origin are automatically shown here. That's why we will have 6 columns. I don't know, for example, in the month of January, you can see average total delay for EWR was the largest. For February, it's still the largest. Let's look at the average departure delay. Actually, that will be more consistent because that's directly related to the airport that the flights are originating from. So in the average departure delay, we see EWR worst in January, still worse in February, and still worse in March. So it seems like EWR for some reason is even worse than JFK. I was not expecting that, to be honest. Yeah, if we continue to look more, let's look at the end. December, EWR still large, and in November too. By the way, it seems December seems to be the worst month for the total delay and for departure delays as well. All right, so yeah, and so this is how you can slice and dice your data set into different groups and then making calculations within those groups. And you see how dplyr makes it very seamless, very easy to work with. If you were to try to do this using base R, you would do lots more computations and lots more compute and coding. So here it's much more. So that's why dplyr is much more usable, user-friendly, and beneficial to use.